Got a matchup here from XMT Codex versus XMT's Rider of Reaver's Mark, also known as Rider of Rohan. All you damn people changing your names all the time. Anyway, what was I saying? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, lizards fighting wood elves. Cool. So what do we got? We got some Chameleon Stalker flanks, 4 of them. 4 Chameleon Stalkers deployed in Hyper Vanguard, going to sneak up on the Wood Elves, and then for the rest of the Lizard Men, 4 regular Croc Scores, 2 Cold One Spear Riders, 2 Feral Cold Ones on each flank paired together, and then Skink Cohorts for the front line. Backed up by a Salon Mage Priest of Fire, generally pretty good against Wood Elves. They have some fire weakness in their roster and a lot of good spells you can bring there. Looks like we're just bringing Burning Head, though. The other side, for the Wood Elves, we have the Spellweaver of Dark with just Blade Wind. Ooh. It's a solid enough spell. It makes it pretty cheap. I don't know if that's a great spell to bring versus Lizardmen, though, because all their infantry are going to be skinks, which aren't really worth your spells. So we'll see if that ends up working out. I mean, it's not a bad spell, but it is 11 Winds of Magic for that Vortex on some skinks. For the main part of the army, we have a ton of Glade Guard. Hagbane Tips and Starfire Shafts mixed throughout, then a bunch of Eternal Guard for a front line, and a lot of Cavalry to try and secure flanks, with 1 Wild Rider, 4 Glade Riders, and the Race of the Frozen Heart. I do like this strategy versus Lizardmen a lot. Glade Guard are some of the most cost-effective archers in the entire game, and if you get a lot of them rather than a couple elite archers, it makes it less likely a Salon can Burning Head or Banishment or, you know, Ruination of Cities if it's Mazda or anything to kill all of them. You just have so many they can't possibly target them all. So the Wood Elves are unleashing unholy amounts of damage on Lizardmen frontline on the advance, but in come the Chameleon Stalkers with their little grenades in their flanking position. The Wood Elves' limited frontline is going to struggle to keep these guys safe. Some of the cavalry is being redeployed to the back line. They're now starting to peel those guys as best as possible. You can see some other cavalry forces were up here cycle charging. They'll probably finish routing these Feral Cold Ones and then sprint to the back line and try and stop the Skink Skirmishers here, or the Chameleon Stalkers, my bad. Another Blade Wind is out. Again, trying to kill the Skink cohorts so that Race of the Frozen Heart have an easier time fighting Croc Scores without that extra Skink support. That's pretty fine. No issues there. On the far side, we have a pretty sparse outline of Lizardmen units. Cold One Spear Riders, Feral Cold Ones, and Croc Scores. No infantry support. Fighting on top of spears and getting shot by archers is pretty brutal. I mean, they are just trying to overrun the vast amount of archers, so I understand you need to spread your forces thin sometimes, but still, you know, a little stressful to be taking that much damage. Over here we can see these cavalry did do what we predicted. They are trying to now get back here and stop the Chameleon Stalkers after they routed off those Feral Cold Ones that used to be right here. But the Lizardmen breakthrough is tough. I mean, we have archers running in every direction. These aren't 360 angle shooting archers, so the longer they're running, the less they're firing. These ones get set up and start shooting Croc Scores. The problem is that their damage is getting very spread out. I see a lot of Lizardmen health bars that are low, but not a lot of dead units. I mean, we have a couple that still have full HP, but the Wood Elves haven't been able to focus their fire like they'd want to, so now they're still running from wounded Croc Scores, wounded Skinks, wounded Cold and Spear Riders, while also trying to shoot at the full health ones. It's just tough. They can't really get their back against a wall and really fire in one direction. These Glade Guards should rally, you'd think. They're getting dangerously close to the white line. There's no enemies nearby at all. There we go. So they're back. That would have been a shame to lose them. And it looks like we're getting something of a base of operations set up over here. The Wild Riders can finish cleaning up. These 2 Glade Guard can put their backs to a wall and just start firing in one direction. As they slowly push this direction, they'll kill anything in front of them and then keep pushing this direction. So if the Wood Elves can, they should get anybody else who's healthy and capable back over to this side and just reform lines. Because that Chameleon Stalker flank really messed with their game plan. They just want a front to back, honest fight. Flanks are pretty bad when you have 8 archers and only 5 infantry. Some Eternal Guard get charged by Cold and Spear Riders, take a lot of damage from that heavy cavalry charge, and now if the fight gets protracted from this point, the Spearmen will start to trade back okay, but on the charge, the Cold and Spear Riders do a lot of damage, especially against unbraced light infantry. Glade Guard somehow ended up in melee with these Skink cohorts, but the Glade Riders should be able to peel them off relatively easily. We also have a bunch of cavalry milling about here. They get moving again. This battle is pretty spread out. I mean, it's easy for me to cast one side, but the red team does have a bunch of units over here they're trying to manage, and the units over here they're trying to manage. So it's understandable if things get a little lost in translation. What else starting to fall behind on the balance of power? I would agree. Need to really assess if it's overly concerning. 1 full health infantry, 3 pretty healthy monstrous units, and a Salon. Everything else is so injured. Yeah, I don't know if these two archers are going to have the DPS to really knock out 3 monstrous infantries on the charge, they're probably going to get disrupted. A lot of effort's going to have to be put in by this Wild Rider and this Glade Rider to buy the archers the time they need to do that damage. Anything over here is worthless at this point. There's no hope for the Wood Elves to rally that before it all goes to hell. So we'll see. Glade Guard firing at the Salon. Tree's going to block a lot of those shots, but maybe a couple will make it through and just get some poke on them. I don't think this game is going to go long enough that those Glade Guard will run out of ammo, so, you know, I don't hate them taking an inopportune fight against the Salon. It's just like, might as well shoot a shot. Spellweaver of Dark is much higher speed than anything around here for the Lizardmen, so she feels pretty safe to get a free charge on the Salon, try and get a little bit of damage out, and then retreat when she feels like it, though the Salon has much higher weapon strength, so she actually will lose that fight in the long run after her charge bonus wears off. You can see she is stun locked for some reason. She's just not moving as the Salon gets hit after hit on her backside, so now her melee defense is lowered because she's facing away. He is missing a lot because still his melee stats are pretty pitiful. He is a random Salon after all, but I'm still very concerned about her. As we can see, she's taken like 300, 400 chunks, and I don't even know if she is stun locked. She is fighting back. She just randomly turned her back to him for no reason, giving him a way better shot in this as he just hits her with a trash can. She gets knocked out like Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm the trash man! Boom! Half your Spellweaver's health is gone because she randomly turned her back on a giant lizard and tried to literally fight with her hands behind her back. Didn't work. Now this is really bad. Something terrible happened to the Wood Elves. They advanced pretty close to the trees, so now their firing line are mostly obstructed by these trees. You can see all the arrows hitting those instead of the croc scores. And if they try and fall back, the croc scores are faster, so this is less time they get to shoot as more time they just try and reposition to get some shots out of the trees. But pretty big mistakes there from the Wood Elves, getting in that inadvantageous fight with the Salon, kind of for no reason in the end, and positioning your archers so close to the trees that they became ineffective. And those are probably going to cost him the game. It was already looking tough, but doable. But after those, I mean, you lost half your health on your Lord for no reason, and then these archers didn't get to put their damage out. That's just looking like GG. Nice burning head from the Salon. Should finish off this Glade Guard. Maybe not kill it, but maybe get it to rout. Never mind. We're talking about elves here, not Skaven, I suppose. Seems fine. Blade Wind is a bit of a whiff. Trying to zone away those Chameleon Stalkers. I guess they did dodge, but still, it is something. Whoa! Burning Head bouncing back from the lake hits them again! Oh, that is messed up. That is very messed up. As the archers tried to get involved in the critical fight, the Burning Head bounces off the lake, takes a second pass at them, gets them to rout, and then the Croc Squares and chase down the other one. At this point, it is just Wild Riders and Glade Riders versus all of these things. There is no hope for the Wood Elves in winning that sort of fight. This game is over. I'm so confident it's over, I'm gonna fast forward. Like, there's literally no hope. There we go. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I don't know either. Just let it happen. Rock scores got decent value, but mostly were just there to push archers around and be annoying. Feral Coldwins and Coldwin Riders were there to harass, again, archers, but also kill any of the enemy heavy cav, because Coldwin Spear Riders heavily outclass anything the Wood Elves can bring. Even Great Stag Knights, I don't think, want to fight Coldwin Riders, because they might win it, but they won't win it cost effectively. So, yeah, Coldwin Spear Riders can make this really difficult unless the archers pincushion them, and the archers had a really hard time doing much this game. They all around paid for themselves, but with ranged units, you need them to do better than pay for themselves. They need to usually go on above and beyond to win the game, so I'm not that impressed with their value here. Eternal Guard did fine as well. I don't know. The Blade Wind just seemed weird, and I know it's off meta and stuff, but I do think there are decent spots for Blade Wind, but that's usually against armored elite infantry or expensive infantry and things like that. And like, where's Lizardmen? They're not going to bring Saurus, so I don't know what the point of Blade Wind is here. You're just going to get skinks, and then it's kind of a wasted spell. GG though. GG.
Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.